Hello my lovelies. So this is going to be again my video for very beginners, like for people who just starting or just wanting to start and make journals with like no experience whatsoever. So I am giving like very basic. So I'm done already like this journal. It's already journal to journal in, right? How I stitch in, what papers I use, what signature means, all that I have in previous videos. And you can as well to find all previous videos on my playlist, beginners videos, all right? So today I kind of thinking, let's talk about pockets, because journaling is fine, but most of the time we want to tuck something in a pocket, right? Or that's little note, or that like even like little flower I cut out and I just want to tuck in a pocket, but I don't have pockets. So there is a lot different pockets, different folds, different ways, but let's just at the moment talk very basic. All right, so what can be a pocket? First, if you like ready to, this is not, no, this won't, let me just grab a paper. Like, let's say you have large paper and you are making smaller journal, or any paper which is larger than your journal. Sometimes don't rush to cut it on size, right? Like here, example, let's say this would be my pocket size, my journal size. So this would be my journal size, and normally I would cut this off. But instead of that, what you can do, you fold this inside, right? And you can leave it as a flip out, which is interesting, right? Or you can glue these sides down and you have pocket, right? So you don't have to look for paper, something else, straight away you have pocket. The same you can do if that paper is too long. If that paper is too long, you just fold that paper up, right? So let's pretend this is like that. So you fold that paper up and you have two pockets. So this would be page. You open and you have pocket there and pocket here. So you glue with your glue stick over here. I would glue a little bit over here as well, just to understand its pocket, and so here. So with that fold up, you have two pockets. Or with one fold on a side, you are having straight away pocket to tuck things in, right? So don't always rush to cut your papers to the size, right? That's that. If you have already journal and you want to add pockets, what we can add? We can add fabric pockets. We can add a transparent, actually transparent film pockets, I don't think I have sample. Oh, I'm just telling you, but I have no what to show you. To show you, I just remembered. So you have transparent like sheet like that. That can be pocket as well. Transparent, beautiful look. I don't purchase these are purchased from Temu because I wanted to print on them. But usually you use that plastic from packaging most of the time. But if you have a laminator at home, you can laminate that sheet clean and use that laminated clean sheet for a pocket, which I will do as well in my next project. But most popular is fabric piece. Can be lace. Lace is very popular, like wider lace, and you glue on 3 sides, or you stitch on a sewing machine if you have sewing machine, right? You glue that, or you just take and use paper on a page. Simple single pocket. There is like double pockets and all that. We're not going there. Simple pocket, right? And here as well, most of the time what we do let's put that away. Most of the time what we do, we cut let's say I want this to be a pocket, so we cut to the size straight. So we cut to this size. So how high is your pocket? It doesn't really matter, guys. There is no standards how high should be pocket, okay? It can be any pocket you like, any height. It can be such a high, it can be such a high, okay? So there is no problem with that. And then usually again, what we do, we just glue all 3 sides, we glue down on a page, and we have pocket, right? Most of the time we do little clip like with, I just try to reach with punch. This will be coming off. So we it's not doing because it's too thin. We do a little, then I double it usually with another paper, and right, and you have little like notch to get like into the pocket. So all the same way, you just take under sewing machine and you sew all in one go, everything down. With sewing, if you want to sew down, I recommend to use on cardstock, because what happens if you stitch on, I will just show you, just looking for thinner paper. What's this? Okay, so let's say I want pocket like that. So I will stitch around just quickly. Okay, I will just show you my thread finished. So actually, basically what I wanted to show you, that if you stitch pocket on a thinner paper and you now try to put something in, you have to like open, and this look is tearing, even look, it's just tearing. It tears very easily. What I'm going with that, if you want to stitch on a pocket on, stitch on little bit thicker paper, again as a cardstock. Right, it will hold it better. And usually before I stitch, I glue on with glue stick, right, just to make sure it first is in the right place, and second is like double, and stitching over the, with stitching over glue. My sewing machine is fine. I don't have any like problems with that, because sometimes people asking, so glue, how do you stitch over the glue? But that sewing machine is for crafts, and yes, I have singers, so it's kind of fine. But anyway, so you can do that, but you can do as well, which used a lot of in a scrapbooking, right? You can, I don't have a smaller one, but you can use double-sided tape. Well, let's pretend, because for that you will need a smaller bit. So you are using double-sided tape. Oh, it's not. Okay, let's pretend it's not glued down. So you just place that double-sided tape all over. And then you just have to take that very carefully off the top part. Right, and you just put your pocket over. This as well is quite good way to glue. You don't have to glue really with glue stick, or you don't have to sew it down. For fabrics, I would recommend to sew down. I actually, most of the time, I do sew down with sewing machine. And I think when I started, I did glue as well. I just, please don't use glue sticks or hot glue gun. I mean, right? Please don't hot glue sticks. I'm talking about. Don't use hot glue gun. It goes. It's plastic. It goes in bumps. It dries as a bump. It will be all bumpy and it's not nice at all. And glue stick really cheapens your glue stick. Hot glue gun cheapens your especially if you want to sell afterwards. It cheapens your journal. Fabrics and all stuff like that, please don't use glue stick. What's wrong with me? Please don't use hot glue gun, okay? If there is some heavy really items you want to glue on a cover, yes, sometimes like I'm using like heavier washers and stuff like that, rusted ones, then I do use glue gun, right? Hot glue gun. But apart from that, no, there is no need for that, really, no. So fabrics as well, or you glue down. There is fabric glue. With glue stick, I don't think it will stick. There is fabric glue or whatever glue is in your country, right? I am using all the time since I started. Actually, I am using PVA glue, right? But for furniture, right? I'm purchasing it from hardware store. not from craft store. I purchased my glue from hardware store. All right. So, okay, so we are gluing down pocket. And we are fine. We can tuck in, you know, whatever we like. When you glue this way, you have to remember, guys, you're gluing down and that kind of shrink your pocket down because there will be lines of gluing. So you will not be able to put in piece as wide as the pocket is outside. You will be able to put inside smaller. See, it wouldn't be going in because there is a glue. You have to remember that you can just put in smaller item, narrower than your pocket. Right, but which is a better idea to do for a pocket, which like I prefer, show you that, right, is that we take our paper and we take our paper a little bit bigger than we want our pocket. Like, let's say I want that pocket such a high, and like that. Right, so I want this picture to be my pocket, and it is on a sides too wide. Perfect. So what do we do? All right, I measure this one. I fold it up, and on a line of another page, I fold this one up, right? And then this I fold back down to be inside of the pocket. Right? Then I am not worried about me center to punch in a center. Sometimes I punch this hole on one side. It don't have to be in a center whatsoever. So now what you have, something like that. And now you are gluing it down. So what that gives you? That gives you all that width your page have. So I'm gluing on a side and I'm gluing down. So this will glue down like that. And then I glue it on our page. Like that. So what that gives you? First, it gives you that pocket a little bit of flexibility. So when you look, if you can see, it gives flexibility, and look, I can go up to very side and gives you a right width as is outside. It's not glued down. I'm just pushing it out, but it little is not tight down. And sometimes when you put like finger in or want to put something in, you are tearing these little corners off. So to avoid that, but we don't really, but sometimes it can happen. It's not like, you know, someone intentionally pulls pockets, but that could happen, right? So especially if there is some smaller item. But this, look, it's not tearing and gives that little flexibility to get behind that pocket because of these folds. I'm not doing fold on a side. There is pockets you can do fold as well on a bottom part, but I don't do that. But this is really nice, guys, right? And then you do your notch, and then you can embellish, or as you have pocket, you can leave as it is. On a cardstock, it's glued on and it will hold and everything will be fine. Larger pockets as well, in the same way you can glue on a side. On a side like that, which is side pocket. So I'm just looking for some paper. Quickly. And I am. Oh, this is. I have to iron that. I'll just take this one. And that was cardstock, and this is not. So again, I am kind of measuring how wide I want my pocket. Let's say I want such a wide. Right. So I do make sure this line is lined straight to that. This is how I get it straight. Just in a case. Alright. So you tear it off. This is far too big. Right, and the same way. Most of the time I just sew it down, but let's just talk about gluing down. So we are folding in the same way. Then you can do that notch in, or you can leave it without. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. And again, this width, there is no right way for that width. And you can use as well fabric. For fabric, you would just place it down on stitchy free sides or glue these free sides. Okay, like that. So let's do this without notch. I don't know, notch is the right word for it, but you know, this is not really right like that. And nicely, these little bits you glue down. And then again, look, you already can see, it's like, look, it's like extra. You can put a little bit, first you can put a little bit more behind that pocket, because there is little flexibility, right? This little, how can I show you like that? Can you see? It's coming off, but you can get idea, like, look. It gives you a little bit, look, more flexibility, and that pocket is a little bit, you can put a little bit more because it's not stitched very tightly down, all right? So like that, and we have really, oh, it's already down, it's holding, look, nice strong pocket and nice strong pocket. Embellishments. If you like printed out already sets from Etsy, or you have already like paper like this, maybe you want to add some embellishment. Usually I try to do embellishing before I glue down, because most of the time I want to stitch something or to do like hand stitching or stuff like that. Then of course easier you do first and you glue pocket afterwards just down on a page. A lot of time I just forgot it, and then I want to do something, and then I have to think how to do, and most of the time that is like I just glue item down, right? But it doesn't matter. So what else we can do? We can use little strip. We have a lot of strips, you know, in our paper pile. We have a lot of strips, and don't have to be straight. Like, I mean, this width again, it doesn't really matter, because this strip we can use as a belly band. What's a belly band? This is like a belly band where you are tucking things behind and it holds nice and tight, right? For belly band, I do glue it down straight like that. I'm not making these folds. Actually, you can, if you know something going to be behind, like thicker, which usually we don't do. Point is, because then, let's cut to the size to fit right in. Right in on a page, right, like that. And usually we glue it like in the center, in the middle of that journal. Still is not on the side. I am gluing it down this time without these folds, because then as that belly band is tight, this is time when we need something tight, right? Because when it's tight, it holds nicely that tag or journaling card down. If that will be loose with like these folds, it can fall through easily, right? So this is like as well my advice for these additions to the journal, which is fun, guys. Belly band as well. You can use pocket. What's wrong with me today? I'm just like mixing words. You can use paper. You can use fabric and glue it down like that. Flip like this as well. Look, this would be really nice belly band, right? But I think I mostly do paper, simply because it's stronger, and when you put things, as I said, in behind, it's not flipping out. It should be strong. Belly band as well, any size, it's fine. There is no sizing. You can embellish. You can another like strip. I have something like that. Of course, you can glue like this down, extend it a little bit. Absolutely no problem with that. Belly band as well. Most of the time I embellish, and it's too much of glue. I embellish, and then I'm just looking for what I can tuck behind. It's too wide. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, it's too wide. It doesn't really. Right. Found it. Something like that. Right, and we can tuck 2 or 3 things behind. There is no rules on that. So these are like very, very basic technical things you can add to your journal. And look, if you have made different papers and stuff, there is not even printed, just like different coffee stain papers, put some fabrics in, make, look, some pockets, that kind of pocket, some belly band. You already have interesting journal coming, right? And you don't have to worry. Like for me, I'm not worried about like mixing themes. Like I purchased, I don't know, something about bees, and then I have roses. I am mixing bees and roses together. Why in a rose journal couldn't be bee? Yeah, I am not really holding to theme at all. I'm more I am titling that journal itself. I'm giving meaning to that journal in a whole journal. So that's why I don't do themes. I don't do Christmas. I love Christmas, but I don't do Christmas theme. The themes doesn't work for me. I love titles. This is why, yeah, I'm titling or something like that. So yeah, guys, so this is really interesting. I encourage you, if you even don't have any printed paper, it's a junk journal. You don't need printed papers, really, you know. Just look, collect different papers you have at home, put them together. We will talk about covers, a lot to talk about covers, because there is a lot of things like a little bit rules we have to, not we have to know, but which I use in my journaling. So this is just very basic, guys, and you just put together, stitch together with different look papers, and then you can use some stamps. Maybe we can talk next time about stamping, and yeah, I'm making some pages. Yeah, but I think this is this is like already, it's quite interesting, coming like up, like for very beginning, for very beginner. I think this, and then probably look, this picture goes in, should go in there. It goes in there. See what I'm talking about? It didn't go here because sizes are glued and measurements are narrower than here with a side. But you don't have to do sides if you don't want to. It's up to you. I'm just, you know, saying what's a better way to have like more space and more stuff like that for a pocket, to be like more comfortable, put more in as well. Right, my lovelies, I hope that this was helpful. Let's see what I'm talking next time. Yeah, maybe we can do something with stamps and pages, and start to use some pictures. When we start to use some pictures, I think next time we are going to talk how to do a little bit basic grunge on a plain, even this, or this is coffee stained, but it's still like it's not enough. This would be like vintage. For grunge you need a little bit more of grunge. And yeah, I think we will do a little bit more next time about grunge on a page. Right, my lovelies, I hope this was helpful. Very beginning, very, but you have to start from somewhere. So yeah, hope that helped, and see you next Sunday. Bye.